Look at a towering redwood tree, a soaring eagle, and the person next to you. They look completely different, with entirely different ways of surviving. But strip away the leaves, feathers, and skin, and they share an identical physical foundation. To find it, you have to look past the large structures. You have to go deeper than the heart, the lungs, or the leaves. You have to zoom all the way down to the microscopic level. This right here is the cell, and it brings us to the very first rule of what biologists call cell theory. Absolutely every living organism on Earth is made of them. The second rule of cell theory is that the cell is the absolute baseline of life. You can break a complex machine down to its gears and springs, but a gear cannot run on its own. In nature, anything smaller than a complete cell simply cannot survive independently. And finally, where do they come from? In the mid-1800s, a scientist named Rudolf Virchow popularized the third rule. New cells are only formed when pre-existing cells divide. Life only comes from existing life. We often call cells the building blocks of life, but that implies they sit perfectly still, like bricks in a wall. In reality, a cell is a bustling 24/7 microcity, packed with activity. Let's start at the city limits. Every cell is wrapped in a protective outer layer called the plasma membrane. This outer layer is remarkably flexible. It's a double layer of fats, a lipid bilayer, with protein structures shifting inside it, like icebergs in an ocean. This acts as a highly selective filter, choosing exactly what enters and what is turned away, keeping the internal environment stable. Small molecules like water naturally balance their concentrations, drifting across the membrane automatically without energy. This is passive transport. But to hoard nutrients against the flow, embedded proteins act as mechanical gates. The cell burns stored energy to physically pump target molecules inside. This is active transport. Without this highly regulated border custom system, our cellular city would be quickly flooded with toxins or starved of essential nutrients, bringing operations to a halt. Once you pass through the membrane, you enter the cytoplasm. This is the fluid-filled downtown arena where the heavy lifting of survival actually happens. To keep the city alive, essential services must run without interruption. The cell has to digest raw nutrients, generate electrical power, and constantly take out the garbage. For a long time, it was difficult to understand how these complex chores were completed. There is no brain inside the cell directing traffic, and no magical force pushing things along. The mystery clears up when we realize that the traffic is actually managed by simple physics and chemistry. This is the core of reductionistic biology, the realization that we can explain the most complex life processes by simply observing how individual elements interact at the smallest level. The workers performing these reactions are proteins and enzymes. They act like specialized microscopic machines. Because of their specific physical shapes, they automatically latch onto, break apart, and transport other organic materials through the fluid. Proving this required massive leaps in technology. We couldn't map these tiny factories until the electron microscope allowed scientists to peer deep inside the cytoplasm. The magic of a living cell is simply the combined, relentless mechanical effort of these molecular workers, quietly executing their specific chemical jobs day and night. Now, rapidly zoom out from those busy microscopic workers all the way back out to your own body. Human digestion is a massive team effort, with trillions of cellular workers dismantling your lunch and turning it into usable fuel for the rest of the city. When you take a deep breath, you are delivering a fresh supply drop of oxygen straight to the cell's internal power plants, structures called mitochondria, so they can keep generating energy. And when you recover from a cold, it is because your immune cells acted as dedicated border guards, tracking down and dismantling foreign invaders before they could damage the city. Every human being is a walking, talking nation, built from trillions of these highly coordinated microcities. Every thought you have, every step you take, and every beat of your heart is driven by an invisible chemical workforce. They demand nothing, they never rest, and together they build the entire experience of being alive.